Welcome to a new episode of Triggre Weekend Masterclass. Previously, I have shown you how to use a web API to take a screenshot of a website and show that in your application. However, that's always shown as a URL. And currently in Triggre, you cannot store that image as a URL into your application. So we've unleashed our creativity and we came up with a nice workaround for that, how you are still able to store that image, which is provided to you as a URL, in your application as an actual image. So let me show you in the application itself how this works. So we're going to take a screenshot, we're going to take the URL, and we're going to store that in our application and show that as an image. And after that, I'm going to show you how we created that in our designer. So let's go to the application, because we are going to take a screenshot. And in this case, we are going to create a screenshot of the website of the knowledge base. And to do so, I'm going to click Next. The interface is currently creating the screenshot. As soon as it finished taking the screenshot, it will return a URL where we can find that screenshot. However, with just the URL, I can't store it right away in our application. So let me show you how this looks. There it is. We've got the URL right here. I'm going to open it to show you how it looks. There you go. So we have this URL, but we would like to store this in our application. So I'm going to click the button Show Screenshot as an Image. And in this case, we stored it in our application. You can see it here on the right side. And I also created a table with all the previously sent images. I only have one right now because that's the one that I just created, as you can see. So what did we create in the designer to be able to do this? First of all, I'm going to show you in the user flow what pages and flow parts I've created. And after that, I'm going to show you what else I created, because I had to create flow parts to connect it to the web API that takes the screenshot. But I also have to create a flow part that connects to the Triggre application itself to store the image. So let's go to the user flow first, because what happens in this case, we have the take a screenshot user flow. We start with the page, take a screenshot. We go to the flow part, take a screenshot, which actually takes the screenshot. And then we show the screenshot, and that's the URL that you just saw. And after that, we can press a button which says Show Screenshot as an Image. The flow part send a screenshot will be executed, and after that we can show the result as an image on a page called Show Screenshot as Image. This first part is covered in the other Triggre Weekend Masterclass. Nothing else has changed. So I'm going to explain to you how this works from the send a screenshot flow part and onwards. So in this flow part, and I'll open it first, send a screenshot. We have three inputs, in this case the API password, the API username, and the image URL. And the image URL is the URL that we have, which where the actual screenshot has been posted. And what we do is we are going to send this screenshot to our own Triggre application, because Triggre can store images when you send it to its web API interface, so to a connection trigger which you create in an automation flow. So let me show you this action first, and then I'm going to show you the automation flow itself. So we have the send screenshot to ourselves. It's linked the URL to our Triggre application. We have the authentication, of course. Well, in our knowledge base, you can find how you can find your connection credentials. And in this case, we send a JSON message. And that JSON message consists, of course, the URL of the image that we would like to store. That's all we're going to post. We won't get any data as a response from Triggre, and we're all done. Well, as soon as we've stored this or sent this screenshot to ourselves, it's stored in the application and we can retrieve it via a lookup and add it to the output so we can show it on our page. But let's take a look at the automation flow first and see what we need to set up to store this screenshot. Let's take a look at the automation flow, which is a connection trigger of the type Web API. And if we open that and we take a look at the inputs, we see that we have an input called screenshot of the type picture. And when you send a URL of an image to Triggre, Triggre will automatically download that image and store it as a picture into your application, because here at Create Screenshot, we save that actual picture. If you would have a file, you can do exactly the same thing, but then you would choose a different type of document. Then you would choose a different type of file. So as you know, we've got files and we've got different types, any file, picture, and document. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.